I feel like as a rugby fan right now, I'm in a very fortunate position in the sense that we have an ever-growing abundance of talent in this sport. From Antoine Dupont for France, to Eben Etzebeth for South Africa, or even Ardie Savea for the All Blacks, there's just so many good players. But let's go back in time and remind ourselves how rugby got to this point, through the legends that built this sport. Let me know in the comments below any rugby legends you think I missed. Before we begin, I want to thank everyone for the support on my last video, the rise, fall and resurgence of South African rugby. As always, make sure to like and subscribe for the best rugby content on YouTube, and so without further ado, let's go. Sergio Parisse. It's only fitting to start with the most capped player for his country, Italy, having an eye-watering 142 caps for the Italian national team, thus making him the fourth most capped player ever. Parisse's incredible international career spanned from 2002 to 2019, yes, 17 years. Parisse became the first Italian to be nominated for the Men's 15s Player of the Year in 2008 and again in 2013. Parisse holds the joint record of playing in 5 Rugby World Cups. He is widely considered one of the greatest number 8s of the modern era, as well as the greatest Italian rugby player of all time, and as a former captain for the national team who was able to turn Italy into a genuine Tier 1 side. Brian O'Driscoll. Another absolute legend for their country is the man himself, Brian O'Driscoll. Often touted as the greatest Irish rugby player of all time, Brian O'Driscoll holds the record for both the most caps and the most tries for his national side. Noted for having both exceedingly good ball skills and a brilliant rugby brain, he has an honours list as long as anyone in world rugby. The 4-time British and Irish Lions tourist and 3-time Six Nations player of the tournament played his entire club career for Dublin-based province Leinster. The Irish number 13 shirt became synonymous with Brian O'Driscoll, and he has since become one of the most well-known and respected rugby pundits in the game today. David Campese. With more than a century of caps for Australia, David Campese was an electric back 3 player for the Wallabies. Known for his trademark goose step, there were very few players in the history of the game that could bring a crowd to their feet like Campese. Campese played a pivotal role in Australia's 1991 World Cup win and will forever go down as a rugby legend. Willie John McBride. One of, if not the oldest player on this list, McBride was a tough lock or second row, who was a natural-born leader. The Ireland rugby legend was capped 63 times for his nation, 11 being his captain. He also turned out for the British and Irish Lions a record 17 times in test matches over 5 tours in 1962, 1966, 68, 71 and 74, where he captained the most successful Lions side with 1 draw and 3 wins over South Africa. Gareth Edwards. Another older player, Edwards is often described as the greatest ever player to wear the red of Wales. Edwards was a scrum half well ahead of his time. A career spanning 12 years saw Edwards turn out for Cardiff RFC 195 times. This one club player has national honours for Wales and has turned out for the British and Irish Lions on 2 separate tours. Known for scoring the greatest try of all time for the Barbarians, Edwards touched down during their famous victory over the All Blacks at Cardiff Arms Park in 1973, cementing his status as a rugby legend. Serge Blanco. Moving across the channel, Serge Blanco is a legendary French fullback and winger. Being capped 93 times for his nation, Blanco played a pivotal role in France's success in the 1980s, including Grand Slam victories in the 1981 and 1987 Five Nations Championship. He would later go on to captain his side in the 1991 Rugby World Cup, before retiring that same year. Blanco cemented his legendary status when he was inducted into the World Rugby Hall of Fame in 2011. Johnny Wilkinson and Martin Johnson. Well, where do I start with these two? As captain and talisman, they were the literal heart and soul of an England team that ruled the world in the early 2000s. Johnson's leadership, as well as Wilkinson's vision and incredible kicking ability, helped England win the Rugby World Cup in 2003, with the latter scoring a penalty from open play to break Australian hearts. Johnson also led the British and Irish Lions on their successful tour of South Africa in 1997, and Wilkinson, who retired in 2014, had a host of honours, including a Premiership Rugby title, a Top 14 French title, and 2 Heineken Champions Cups. These two deserved legendary status, as that World Cup win inspired a whole generation of young English rugby players and marked a turning point for rugby in the nation. Dan Carter and Richie McCaw. Another dynamic duo, Carter and McCaw could easily be considered the greatest of all time in their respective positions. Carter was quite simply the perfect 10. He had incredible game management, kicking skills, smooth handling, and running ability. McCaw is considered by many to be the greatest rugby player of all time. He had everything: leadership, work rate, ability to perform under pressure, and read the game as well as the referee. Both Carter and McCaw have won the Men's 15's Player of the Year on 3 separate occasions. Yes, that's 6 awards between them, just mental. As well as this, both were among the first players to win the Rugby World Cup back-to-back, with the All Blacks in 2011 and 2015 respectively. Even though both did play up until only a few years ago, they deserve legendary status, as they have set the bar for players insanely high, being an absolute nightmare to play against for any opponent, as they seemingly always found a way to prevail. Jonah Lomu. I've saved the best till last. The man who reinvented the game and made it global. Lomu brought in a whole generation of new fans with his incredible running abilities. Standing at 6'5" and weighing in at 19 stone in his prime, you'd expect the huge specimen to be taking his place in the scrum. Instead, with the ability to run 100 meters in 10.8 seconds, this absolute unit took place on the field where he could find the most space, the wing. With 37 tries and 63 appearances for the All Blacks, Lomu had many career highlights, including a record 15 World Cup tries, which he achieved in only 2 tournaments. Lomu is the legend when it comes to rugby, as he played a crucial role in popularising the sport globally. His legacy will never be forgotten. Well, you've made it to the end of the video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe for more of the best rugby content. Also, once again, thanks for the support on the previous video, The Rise, Fall and Resurgence of South African Rugby. If you haven't seen it, the link will be in the description below. With that all said and done, it's been your boy Rugby Central 1, and I'll see you next week.